Welcome back to Crypto Shockwave, the channel where we break down the biggest stories in the XRP world and give you the analysis that actually matters for your portfolio. 12.6 million. That is how many XRP whales are sending to Binance every single day right now. 12.6 million. Compare that to the hundreds of millions they were sending during the worst parts of this downturn. And here is what that number actually means. Whale selling pressure on XRP has collapsed to its lowest reading since early 2026. CryptoQuant analyst Pelene PA published the data on June the 10th, and the number changes everything about how you read the current chart, because the price says $1.10, but the on-chain data says something completely different. Stay with me, because today I am going to show you exactly what the whales are doing, what 200 companies just demanded from the United States Senate, and why the White House has set a deadline that changes everything for XRP holders. So let us start with what CryptoQuant actually found, because most people are reading the price and completely missing the structural story underneath it. XRP whale inflows to Binance peaked in 2025, and they have been falling ever since. Transfers of more than 1 million XRP to Binance have declined sharply. The 30-day cumulative flow has dropped to approximately 1.44 billion XRP, one of the lowest readings since the start of this year. And here is why this matters more than almost any price chart right now. When whales send XRP to Binance, they are positioning to sell. Binance is where large holders go to distribute their positions into available liquidity. When those inflows collapse to near historic lows, the primary selling pipeline has narrowed. Pelene PA put it directly. Previous major XRP downturns were preceded by sharp spikes in Binance inflows, not just increases, spikes. And right now, there is no spike. There is no surge. The XRP whale selling that drove this correction has stopped, and the price has not moved yet. Follow the money, not the headlines. But wait, because CryptoQuant is not the only data source telling this story. And the second signal is the one that matters most for the next 30 days. Glassnode published its own data this week, and it shows XRP's realized profit to loss ratio has collapsed to 0.38. 0.38. That is deep in capitulation territory. Here's what that number means in plain English. Short-term holders are selling at a loss right now, giving up, accepting the pain. And historically, every time this ratio dropped below 1 for XRP, whales and long-term holders re-entered the market. And every single one of those moments preceded a significant rally. The ratio hit 50 during the 2025 peak, when every holder was in profit and selling aggressively. Now it sits at 0.38, the opposite extreme. Nobody rings a bell at the bottom, but Glassnode just rang the closest thing to one that data can produce. Now let me give you the political number that every XRP holder needs to hear before they make any decision today, because this is where the story goes from interesting to urgent. 212. That is how many companies sent a joint letter on June the 7th to Senate Majority Leader John Thune and Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. 212. Coinbase, Ripple, Kraken, Circle, Binance US, Andreessen Horowitz, all of them together in the same letter, demanding a floor vote on the Clarity Act without delay. And here is the number that makes this urgent beyond anything the Senate has seen before. Scott Bessent, the United States Treasury Secretary, publicly called on the Senate to schedule that vote. So did Patrick Witt, the White House Digital Asset Advisor, both of them, for a July the 4th signing by President Donald Trump. July the 4th, the United States' 250th birthday, 22 days from today. The administration is not asking, it is expecting. Stop right there, because I need to show you what Galaxy Digital just published, and this is the single most important data point in this entire video. Galaxy Digital priced the Clarity Act passing before the August recess at 60%. 60%. And here is what makes that number extraordinary given where we are right now. The Clarity Act cleared the Senate Banking Committee 15-9 on May the 14th. It was placed on the Senate legislative calendar on June the 1st. 212 companies sent the letter. The White House set July the 4th as the target. And Galaxy Digital, one of the most respected institutional names in the entire digital asset space, says 60% chance of passage before August. While XRP sits at $1.10, smart money positions before certainty arrives. And right now, the smart money is not waiting for the vote to happen. But wait, because there is a second layer to the Senate story that even the most informed XRP holders are missing today. And it is the detail that separates this moment from every previous Clarity Act update. The White House meeting happened on June the 11th, one day before this video. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and White House advisor Patrick Witt sat down with law enforcement groups to address the final unresolved concern, illicit finance language in the bill. Senator Elizabeth Warren has been blocking progress on exactly this point, and the White House meeting is the administration directly removing the last obstacle, one by one. While XRP sits at $1.10, the Clarity Act does not just classify XRP as a digital commodity under federal law. It permanently closes the door on any future SEC enforcement action against XRP. MasterCard has already built payment infrastructure on the XRP ledger. CME and Nasdaq have already included XRP in their regulated futures basket. DTCC has already confirmed Ripple Prime at the institutional table. The Clarity Act is not the beginning of XRP's institutional story. It is the legal signature at the bottom of a contract that is already signed. Now let us be completely honest, because I always show you both sides, and the bear case today is real. XRP is down 38% year to date. Every major moving average points down. The 60-vote threshold in the Senate means roughly 7 more Democrats must cross the aisle, and Kalshi still prices the vote below 40% for the next 2 weeks. Senator Warren has not moved from her position. The White House meeting resolved nothing publicly yet. A confirmed daily close below $1.10 opens downside toward 90 cents. And even the capitulation signal from Glassnode can deepen further before reversing. You must respect every one of those risks. But here is the reframe. Whale inflows to Binance have collapsed to 12.6 million per day, while the price sits at $1.10. The supply that was pushing this price down is no longer entering the market. When supply contracts and demand stays constant, price moves one direction. Gradual, then sudden. Every institutional development since June the 1st happened while the price was falling. The Clarity Act calendar placement, the MasterCard integrations, the White House July 4 target, the 212 company letter, all of it, while the price was falling. That is not a coincidence, that is the setup. So what are the 3 signals you must watch before July the 4th? Signal 1. Watch for a formal Senate floor vote date announcement from Majority Leader John Thune. Galaxy Digital's 60% odds mean the signal is not the vote itself. It is the moment a date is publicly confirmed. Every previous Clarity Act milestone moved XRP's price before the outcome. The announcement is the trigger, not the result. Signal 2. Watch CryptoQuant's daily XRP Binance inflow number. It is currently at 12.6 million XRP per day. If that number drops below 10 million, the selling pipeline has almost completely closed. If it spikes above 50 million, macro pressure is overriding the whale holding pattern. Watch that single number every day. It tells you more than the price chart right now. Signal 3. Watch Glassnode's XRP realized profit to loss ratio, currently at 0.38. Historically, every move below 1 preceded a significant rally when whales re-entered. Watch for the ratio to start recovering from 0.38 back toward 1. That recovery, not a price pump, is the first structural signal that the bottom is forming. Let me bring this home for you now. CryptoQuant says whale selling has collapsed. Glassnode says short-term holders are capitulating. 212 companies have formally demanded a Senate floor vote. The United States Treasury Secretary has publicly set July the 4th as the signing deadline, 22 days from today. Galaxy Digital prices passage at 60%, and the White House is actively removing the last obstacle in private meetings. The price says $1.10. The on-chain data says the sellers have gone quiet. The political calendar says 22 days. By the time certainty arrives, the price has already moved. And the institutions tracking this data right now are not waiting for July the 4th to position. If this video gave you the clarity you needed, hit that like button right now. And share this with one XRP holder who is watching the price and missing the CryptoQuant whale data completely, because they need to see both numbers before they make any decision. If you are not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on notifications, because the next video we are dropping could be the most important one you ever watch. Stay wise, stay positioned. I will see you in the next one.